Former NFL wide receiver Donte Stallworth with us live on Radio Row, Phoenix, Arizona. Hashtag Armen Levack, SB49. Donte, how's Radio Row treating you, man?
It's going well. It's always fun to get here and talk football. You know, it's whenever the season is coming to a close and the culmination of the whole season, Super Bowl is the best time.
Are you talking football today, though? Because it's Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
It's Deflate Game.
Yeah.
I mean, God bless America
Yeah.
with all this off-topic stuff.
Yeah.
Marshawn Lynch, should he have to talk? Should the NFL make him talk?
Well, you know, it's under players' contracts that you're obligated to speak to the media. He spoke to the media, so until they change the specifics of what you actually have to say to the media and what's an acceptable response or an acceptable conversation, you know, he's a guy. He doesn't want to talk. I love to talk. So you know,
So you'll take his time.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I can't put myself in his shoes, but I definitely understand. You know, and his players, his teammates, they've talked about it. Is that he just doesn't want to talk. He's more about playing on the field than he is about talking. And you see, you see the way he goes about his business on the field. You know, he's not a big talker. He makes a crazy play and he walks back to the huddle. If you guys remember I think it was the last touchdown he scored. And it was a crucial touchdown against Green Bay. And I can't remember who it was. Maybe Baldwin came up to him and was going to celebrate with him, and he stopped him like, no, we still have a lot more. In my mind, this is what he was telling him, like,
right.
Hey,
handshake, and they went about the business.
We still got a lot more game to play. Let's not get too excited. Let's finish this game. Then if we win afterwards, we'll celebrate.
I like that as a fan. You like that as a player?
Yeah,
too?
yeah. And you can see that. It's that's what I appreciate about him more than what's going on off the field.
Former NFL wide receiver Donte Stallworth with us.
Is it kind of the media's fault? Because everybody knows he's not going to say anything.
Right.
But at media
Right.
day, man, they were stacked like 12 deep
Yeah.
and taking over Max Unger's side.
Yeah.
I mean, is it kind of our fault that he's getting this publicity the way he is?
Well, I mean, as a former player, we would always blame things on the media. We would. Now that I'm in the media, I'm like, wait a minute, wait. But no, I think it's I think the bigger thing was that people were there just in case he decided to speak, and he did it. So then that's what became the story. So it's for me, it's personally, I mean, it's almost equivalent to what Belichick does when he gets up there and he does this. I always love to watch a Belichick press conference because to me it was always funny because I know deep down he has a sense of humor and he doesn't always let people see that. But that was probably the funny thing, and it's the same thing with Marshawn. I'm sure with his teammates, they know what kind of guy he is, and they let him do his thing, and he comes to work, and he's a great teammate, so they love it.
Donte Stallworth with Armen in the back, live from Radio Row 104.5 The Team. This year, more than any other, it kind of sucked for us as sports hosts, probably you included in the media, where we had to talk about so many off-the-field things. Ray Rice, Adrian Peterson, of course, you yourself, in 2009 charged with DUI manslaughter. With your experience and what you went through, what went through your mind as you watched the TMZ video of Ray Rice and that changed the NFL world and culture as we know it?
Well, it was for me it was a state of disbelief because I know Ray personally. He's a good friend of mine, and that video was not the Ray Rice that I know. It was not the Ray Rice that is always in the community and the first one to step in front and help out a lot of the kids and just a bunch of things that he's done throughout the community and that he's been heralded for. That shouldn't be taken away from what happened, but obviously what happened was very serious, right. And I think that he understands the seriousness of the situation. One of the things you'd heard him say was that he was, and it basically brought him to tears was that he's gonna have to explain that to his daughter one day. Why'd you hit my mother? So I think that weighs on him a lot, and he understands the responsibility that he has not only as an NFL player but more importantly as a father and a husband. And I think that he's taken that responsibility. You could say he's taking it a lot more serious now. And I'm not sure what his future holds as far as the NFL, but I'm definitely pulling for him. He's not a bad guy, but he did make a horrible decision, like some guys do. And for me personally, seeing him go through that, I wanted to make sure that I was there for him because I had a lot of guys, in my situation that were very supportive of me and that helped me get through, and I wanted to be there for him as well.
Is that how you get back? The support of your guys around you? Like, what advice do you give these guys right now to move on and to get back on their feet and get back on the field?
Well, I think the first thing you have to do is make it right with if you're a religious person, you have to make it right with your God, make it right with the people that you affected, And I think once you do that, then you can start the healing process from yourself, because you can't worry about football until you get those things right first, because that, if you don't, then that's going to creep into your preparation for football. It's going to creep into your actual play. So you have to get yourself right first before you can even worry about football.
Yeah, because that's going to affect you daily. You know,
Right.
How long do you ever shake? You know, Ray Rice and his wife now talk about how we just want to move on. We just want to get past this. We want to live our normal life. I mean, you've been through it. Do you ever move on? Do you ever get past it? Is there ever a point where you can say, I don't want to be remembered, Donte Stallworth, for this one mistake in my life. I want to be remembered for all this stuff. How do you get to that? I mean, it doesn't look like Ray Rice is at that point yet. I mean, if it looks like outside looking in, obviously not playing the game right now. He's going through this battle right now, trying to move on.
Yeah, it's a tough battle, and you know, especially when in Ray's case, when you affect someone that you love. You know, it was his fiance, now his wife. So he's, you know, like I said, he's got a lot to deal with as far as personally with him and his family. But you know, me in my case, you know, it's something that I'm going to live with every day. It's something that's always going to be with me. But like I said, I think the first thing that you have to do is get right with yourself, because if you don't do that, then you know that's gonna creep into the rest of your life. And you know, there's so much that can be done from an NFL standpoint, a platform that we have as NFL players and the NFL itself. You know, you always try to make positive out of a negative situation.
All right, I got a hard hit you now. 2 times with the Patriots. How many different things are they doing to cheat for the Super Bowl this year?
100,000. I mean, just the way they walk out there is cheating. No, you know, it's interesting because you know, I kind of held my my judgment on the whole deflated ball thing,
yeah.
but once I was able to actually feel real balls at that level, as far as because the regulation is 12-5 to 10-5 or 13-5,
right?
And I felt I had footballs that were 10-5, 11-5, 12-5, and 13-5, courtesy of CNN when I was on Jake Tapper, and there's no difference. There's no competitive advantage gained. Anyone who's saying that they can notice it, I'm not saying they're lying, but they're gravely exaggerating, because you can feel a difference when you're squeezing the end of the balls, but quarterbacks don't squeeze balls when they throw it; they grip them.
Right.
And I think that's also what Brady said too. Like I had someone throwing me balls with the 10-5 and the 13-5, and it's not a weight issue. You can't feel the difference. It's not a difference of being able to hold the ball better. It's just a you know, a regulation that the NFL has, and those are things that you have to play within those rules. So you know, each quarterback likes their footballs differently, but
right.
We'll see what the NFL investigations comes up with. I mean, they allegedly have some guy, locker room guy, that they saw with the footballs that went into a bathroom or something for approximately 60, 90 seconds. I don't know if that's enough time.
Right.
You know, then you know it started out as a conspiracy once they said it was the Patriots. So that thing kind of breathed and is living on its own too. So
10-year NFL vet, Donte Stallworth with Armen Levack on 104.5 The Team. We're going through the depth charts and talking about the wide receivers in this game. And the names are not big names. Angry Doug Baldwin, Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola. How are these two teams without the household A.J. Green, Dez Bryant, Calvin Johnson? We talk so much about the big play wide receivers, the big time, the big money wide receivers. Neither one of these teams outside of Gronk really have that guy.
Right.
How are they here?
Well, you know, first I've gotta say kudos to Curse, because that kid, I mean, they threw like 4 passes his way, and each one of them was turnovers.
Yeah.
And then he makes the game-winning touchdown.
And for Russell Wilson to want to go back to
exactly,
him, too.
and that was the thing. Yeah, that was huge. And Russell brought that up too after the game. You know, just the resilience that those guys showed. I mean, how many guys in a championship game to go to the Super Bowl can have plays like that, where not only you're dropping passes, but you know they end up in turnovers to catch the game-winning touchdown. I mean, to keep your head in that game, kudos for that kid, because that's got to be a daunting task, and he was able to do that. So in order for those guys to be what they are now, you look at them, and it's those types of things. It's the resiliency, It's the will to to have that chip on your shoulder. A lot of those guys have chips on their shoulders for being smaller guys or not so much heralded guys, and they take that onto the field, and that's what you've seen those guys do on both teams all year long.
So, but again, like you got to be sitting there going, man, I could probably play on either one of these teams right now, right?
Well, probably a couple years ago, not anymore. But yeah, I mean, it's these guys aren't necessarily household names, but they've taken what their teams are really good at. You look at the Seahawks, and I've said it time and time again. Russell Wilson, in my mind, once he's out of the pocket, no one is better because he can run like Kaepernick. He can run like a Cam Newton, but he does that as his last resort. He does not look to run the ball when he leaves the pocket. He looks to throw first. I mean, until the last minute. Sometimes it's like, dude, throw the ball away. But he's very smart. And I think Joe Montana and even Troy Aikman, even up to last year, said that he was probably the smartest, one of the smartest quarterbacks with the ball in his hand. And obviously, on the other side, you have TB12 and a future Hall of Famer. So that speaks for itself.
Wow. Former receiver Donte Stallworth, now with CSN Northeast, covering the Patriots. Find him on Twitter at Donte Stallworth, at CSNNE. All right, tell Donte about our movement.
All right, we're reviving the 5. I'm sick of the knuckles and the fireworks and all that stuff. So
yes.
Can I get a high five from you?
Yes.
Oh, that was beautiful.
That's a good one too.
Nice. I hope you guys heard that. It was nice and crisp.
Yeah, it was
in sync.
It was good. And you could tell that we both had a full PSI in our hands.
Yes.
What's your favorite part about being in the media?
Being able to interview now. I'm on the other side.
Yeah.
So I would love to go and attempt to interview Marshawn Lynch. Although I think Deion Sanders has that label. Like if Deion Sanders can't interview you, then probably no one can. So
well, you can use that player connection to do the Deion.
Hopefully,
same thing. Like,
hopefully
hey,
so.
player, and then walk up and do the thing.
Hopefully so. Although he'd probably look at me and say, "You know why I'm here."
Donte Stallworth, appreciate you, man. We're here because of Bud Light. There's a Bud Light shirt for you for whatever. We'll follow you on Twitter and CSN Northeast as well, man. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thanks for having me on, fellas.